Hey everyone, Nick Lang with Sixpence Productions here. It's been a while since I made a video. The wife and I successfully welcomed the newest little Langan into the world. So as you can imagine, we've been a little bit busy and we've got some longer videos to come, but I just want to take a quick moment and comment. I don't think it deserves a super long commenting, but the Rings of Power, which has just been a complete nightmare from start to finish. I couldn't even get through the first season. They recently had an episode where one of the orcs is pleading with one of the bad guys to not send them to war because they don't want to fight. And then you see his orc wife and child, who are hilariously ugly, just like the Tolkien movie orcs, but they've dressed up a woman and child like this. And it just once again goes to show that these people, not just the writers for Rings of Power, but all these people that infiltrate the culture and then take these beloved materials and corrupt them, try to put their own spin on them, they fundamentally lack any understanding of what it is that makes the original source stuff so good. And so many people identify with it. They just don't get it. We talked about this a little bit in my last longer YouTube video. And if you don't follow us on YouTube, please go check it out. I talked a little bit about the problem with entertainment as a whole, but also Christian and conservative entertainment, especially some of the stuff that's coming out. But this goes back to what I'm saying. There's a fundamental lack of truth in these things. And so in the case of Tolkien, the orcs are two main things, and I'm sure there's other things. There's Tolkien scholars that have waxed poetic and all this stuff. But the first thing is, they are an external, no longer human, malevolent force, similar to like the White Walkers in Game of Thrones or any of the other stuff that represents an external threat that the human characters, and in the case of Tolkien, the humans and the dwarves and the elves, all the humanoid races, the hobbits, have to band together and fight against. They're not supposed to be humans, and they're not just another species as they sometimes are portrayed in Dungeons and Dragons or other fantasy things like World of Warcraft. The orcs are sort of humanoid. They're another species. They've got their own things. They're not all evil. In Tolkien, they are just an external threat, a physical manifestation of the evil of Sauron and Morgoth. The other thing they represent is they are corrupted good, right? The first orcs come from elves. And I can't remember if any of the orcs also come from humans, but they are sort of, there's an angelic parallel in Lucifer and the fall from heaven and the angels becoming demons, that the elves, some of the elves are corrupted into these hideous orcs. And much like with angels, because Tolkien's Catholic theology heavily influenced, obviously, his writing, there is no coming back for orcs. There are no female orcs in Tolkien because they don't reproduce in that way. They are made through corruption. And so they're a physical embodiment of evil that the characters can fight against. And also they represent what happens to you when you lose your soul, as an example, that you're corrupted, you give in to the evil. They serve as a warning sign for other characters. The ring kind of turns Gollum almost orc-like, right? He still has a soul maybe, but Frodo, we see some flashes, that animalistic rage. It is a metaphor for falling from grace. And the fact that the people that got the rights to one of the most beloved fantasy series of all time don't understand that is not surprising, but also humorous and disappointing. Stay tuned for other videos. We'll see you next time.